We are almost at another milestone in our revolutionary struggle. And oftentimes, in every milestone, in every crucial point of our struggle that started more than 4 decades ago, not including the centuries before we were, as we do now, always put in an existent mode, we cannot help but ask ourselves, especially the leadership of our Central Committee, this question: what now and where to? You will notice that most of these small groups, splinter groups, came into being after the failure of the peace process. The Mountain Group is actually a member of the MILF, Moro Islamic Liberation Front. But the failure of the passage of the BBL in the last administration give them they were able to capitalize it in order to recruit some of their followers. And if you look at also the one now fighting in Maguindanao, the Bangsamoro Islamic Freedom Fighters, it came into being after the failure of the signing of the MOA-EDI, Memorandum of Agreement on Ancestral Domain, during the time of President Gloria Macapagal-Arroyo. We are quite confident that if there is a political settlement that is acceptable by the majority of the Bangsamoro people, then this splinter group will gradually be carried into the mainstream. It would be very difficult for them to exist. There is no choice for this small group except to join, or because they will suffer. They cannot survive without the support of the people. Yeah, there are. We confirm that there are foreign elements joining this small group, the Abu Sayyaf group, and even the BIFF. As of now, we are trying to monitor and identify who these people are. We are also cooperating with the through information with the security personnel of the government in order to isolate this group. The MILF itself as an organization does not support the issue of political dynasty. Senator Trelon was insisting that the political dynasty, provision for political dynasty, shall be included in the BBL. Our concern is that if we include it in the BBL without a national law that will be providing for this political dynasty, then it would be very difficult for us to explain why we have in our BBL when the national law has not passed a law that is providing for the anti-dynasty law. So that's why we appealed to Senator Drilon that we will not include that. But then, if there is already a law in the national, passed already by Congress, on political dynasty, then the Bangsamoro government will follow, and that we promise to him. This is a ministerial form of government, while the ARMM remains as a unitary form of government. In the agreement, there was actually a power-sharing mechanism. That is, there will be powers that will remain to the central government. There will be powers that will be exclusive to the Bangsamoro government, and there will be power that will be concurrent to both. So that was specified very clearly in the first BBL crafted by the BDC. But then there was they questioned it in the Senate. So the compromise is that we have only listed down the powers that will be given to the Bangsamoro government. So comparing it to the powers devolved to the ARMM, then it would be, we have all those devolved in the ARMM are automatically become powers of the Bangsamoro government, and there are additional almost 10 powers which was included in the list. The list now is more than I think 68 powers were given to the Bangsamoro government. If this bill will be ratified and be ratified through plebiscite, then it is not, the category is, according to the legal group, they say that this cannot be taken out from the Bangsamoro government because it passed through a plebiscite. So it is unlike those devolved to the ARMM. Anytime the central government wants to take it back, then they can do it. So second, another difference is on the block grant. The block grant is automatic appropriation as provided. Now, if you will compare it to the budget of the ARMM, the budget of the ARMM, they have to submit their budget to Congress, and they will have to defend it in Congress. So that's why sometimes it takes so long process before the budget is approved. So that is why we struggle very much in order that this block grant will be automatic appropriation. It will not pass Congress anymore. It will be like the internal revenue allocation. It will be directly allocated to the Bangsamoro government. And then the area also, if the plebiscite the area will be expanded, there will be 2 additional cities that could possibly be included, and then there are still 6 municipalities and rather 39 barangays that will be included. Yes, we agreed on that because we find it impractical also to have separate command of the AFP and the PNP. We accepted the formulation under the 9054, that is establishment of a regional police that will be particular to the Bangsamoro regional government. Most of those provisions that were taken out are seemingly, according to some observers, are unconstitutional. Even this even the president himself keep on advising us that we will have to avoid unconstitutional, seemingly unconstitutional provision. He was saying that if we include those, there are possibilities of being declared unconstitutional, then we might be delaying the process, because somebody will go to the Congress, to the Supreme Court, to question the constitutionality of that provision, and that will take time to resolve it. So he said, we better take out already all those that is seemingly violating the Constitution. So anyway, he said, one is, there are still process. One is because he's also planning to have the charter change. Another is also built in the agreement. The built-in in the agreement is if any provisions of the law that will be declared unconstitutional, then the Bangsamoro government can recommend for amendment to the Constitution. Well, the possibility is there, but for now, I would like to confirm that as far as our initial consultation, the possibility of being accepted is quite high, especially in the top level of the organization. So, in that case, if ever the leadership tend to accept, and then there are some probable oppositions from among the lower hierarchy, then we will have to conduct more information advocacy in order to let them understand. So far, we are confident that the MILF is very solid for now. And as I have said, that's why we will conduct a consultation, because we need to let them feel ownership of this decision. Because we cannot only dictate the decision, they must own it. And that is why we will be conducting, we will not concluding our decision unless they are consulted. We have submitted to the government from 30 to 40,000 combatants will be subjected to decommissioning. But for the weapons, there are three categories of weapons being used by the MILF. One category is owned by the organization. The other category are owned individually by the combatants. Some procure their own firearms, weapons. And then there are also weapons which are owned by civilians, supporters of the MILF. And during war, all these can be immobilized by the organization. Our scheme is not integration. we go for direct decommissioning, meaning we will decommission our forces, the entire forces. I said 30 to 40,000 will be decommissioned. Now, individually they can apply to the police. They can apply.
That's their personal decision.
Yeah, that's their personal decision. If they want to become part of the police, then they can apply. We will allow them to apply. But if not, then they will just go back to civilian life. No, there will be, as far as keeping firearms with them, it will be governed by some laws on firearms. All these firearms will be turned over to the decommissioning, international decommissioning body, and it will be kept. It is not given to the government, it's not given to any, but it will be safekeeping. It will be put beyond use. That is the term used in the agreement. The Declaration for Amnesty is also part of that. So this will be a long process, and this will be a tedious process. But what is important is we agree to this, and we will faithfully follow this.